welcome everybody. It's Dan. Hope you're well today. Happy whatever day it happens to be. I have no idea what actual day it is. Very confused this week. Anyway, very confused because I didn't go to CrossFit yesterday, and I should have done, but I had to stay in because we had the front gate taken off and all sorts of reasons why I couldn't go. But anyway, I couldn't go, and so now it feels like a Monday, even though it's a Tuesday. Very complicated and confusing when you're getting on a bit. But in today's session, I want to talk to you about the 4 quickest ways that you're going to get a difference, an acceleration in your level of success. And this can happen almost immediately if you embrace these 4 things that we're going to talk about. Now, you can come on board and you can look through these and you can work out what this is going to be almost instantly just by looking at the list we've got over here. But stick with me and listen to some of the reasons that I'm going to go through as to why you need to stick with me, really, because this stuff is really important. So let me just double check, first of all, that we're actually live, because Restream doesn't look like we're live. And I could just be talking to myself yet again. It happens quite often. Oh, no, we are live. There we go. I just wanted to double check. So let's head up with number 1. Number 1 is a real easy one for me, and it's simply that you've got to work out. There's so many benefits from working out, and you know what? I have a couple of people in mind, in my head, when I'm talking about working out. And these are people who are very successful in a business, and they're happily married, and on the whole, they're crushing it, right? And that's brilliant. But they're going to die early. They're going to have a heart attack. They're going to have heart disease. They're going to have onset dementia early because they're not looking after themselves. We call it the 4 horsemen of the fatocalypse, apocalypse anyway, that I call it. So you've got cancer, you've got heart disease, you've got things like Alzheimer's and that kind of thing. You've got obesity, you've got type 2 diabetes, and all of this stuff is really important. And you know what, when you're 65 and 70 and you're in hospital struggling with this stuff because you're struggling to breathe, you're going to look back at now and go, do you know what, Dan, I should have really worked out a little bit more. And so this is really important. It's such a delicate subject. I feel like we have to tiptoe around this subject for fear of hurting people or upsetting people. And honestly, I'm just at that stage now where if we upset you because we're telling you you need to work out, mate, you're carrying a bit, you need to work out. Look, I'd rather upset you to the point where you don't be my friend anymore, but you actually work out. That's how important it is, because it means you're going to have longevity. And longevity, if you're in business, being in business for as long as you can is really half the success. So many businesses fold. 95% of businesses fold in the first 5 years. If you can have longevity through time, you're going to be more successful than the average person. But if you're not here to enjoy it, what's the point, right? So this is not just about weight loss or fat loss or longevity. However, there's 4 subsections here that I want to cover on the working out. I went to CrossFit this morning, absolutely crushed it, lifting more than everybody else. Did the workout, finished before everybody else, crushed it, totally crushed it, got people younger than I am, and I'm there crushing it, love it, right? But there are 4 really important things that you kind of develop through working out, and you only develop these if you're going and working out with other people, not you going to your gym, looking on your phone and working out what playlist you're going to do, and then you do some lat pull downs, great, and then what song now will get me in the mood? What song will get me in the mood for a 5k run or a 1k run or doing some dumbbells? That's bonkers. And you go for an hour and actually you've worked out 5 minutes, 10 minutes of actual physical work because you sat on your ass and you're working out your playlist and then you're working it out and there's no intensity. And so this is what's really important, I think, is that going with other people. This is one of the reasons I do CrossFit, and the CrossFit session I had this morning, absolutely crushing it. But I can see people catching me up because I'm resting and I'm like, okay, and then I get back to work and I'm lifting the weights. And so this is really important, going with other people that you can compete against. And sometimes with other people there that are quicker than me, stronger than I am, younger than I am, less fatter than I am, and they're doing rope climbs, legless rope climbs, and I'm like, okay, I've got to beat that. I'm doing handstand walks, and I can't do them yet, and I'm insanely jealous about my inability to do them. So then I'm practicing them in my own time. Like, that stuff will push you forward, and it's almost like you've got this cheerleading squad that's on your side. They don't even know who you are. They don't even care who you are, but you're ahead of them, and they're catching you up, or they're ahead of you and you're catching them up, and it just pushes you to do that much more work. But there's 4 things that I want to cover during this group workout session. First one is mental strength. In fact, 1 and 2 are kind of the same thing. But number 1 is mental strength. The mental strength to get through a workout. You don't have mental strength and you just have it, or you don't have it. It is a skill or a habit that you have to learn through time. And the best bit about mental strength is that it is interchangeable regardless of what you're doing, right? So if I've got a huge volume of work in front of me at work, I've got 10 websites I need to edit, and I've got this thing that I need to do for this client, and I've got a podcast to do, and this and that, and this and that, and everything else, right? If I've got all that, and I could look at it and go, oh God, I can't do that. It's exactly the same as me looking at what the workout of the day is at CrossFit and going, gosh, I can't do that, but I'm going to give it a go, right? And so you start doing it, and you start developing this mental strength because of this working out. Other people are kicking your butt, and you're like, okay, I'm going to catch up to them somehow. I have to catch up to them. And so you develop this mental strength, and it is a habit. It is a skill that you're going to learn over time. And are you going to be dreadful at it and give up first? Of course you are. Perfectly normal, perfectly natural, completely fine. That is who we are, right? That's what we do. Let me just double check our restream. Yeah, there we go. We are live. Thank you, Mads. Thanks for confirming that, and welcome. So getting that mental strength, nobody has it to begin with. And you go through these obstacles that we have in life: separation, getting overweight, losing a business, having a car repossessed, losing a job, being dumped, kids no longer want to talk to you. We have all these negative things happen to us. We get beaten up. We have bad health, whatever it is, right? We develop this mental toughness through these obstacles that we're overcoming. And it's like, well, why don't you just create an obstacle outside of life, outside of work, and outside your relationships, and outside of health, and create these obstacles that you're purposely putting in place that you then have to overcome, and you have to develop mental strength in order to overcome them. Enter CrossFit, or enter a 5K race, or enter an Ironman, where you're training in groups of you. You have to develop this mental skill. And then the second bit here, which is kind of similar to the first bit, but there's a few nuances here, is resilience. We talked a little bit about this in a video podcast that I did whilst going to CrossFit. Resilience is different than mental strength. Resilience is knowing that what you've got ahead is going to hurt, but I don't care. Hit me with it. Hit me. Give me your best shot. Hit me with the... Oh, it sounds like a Pat Benatar song, doesn't it? Hit me with your best shot. After a workout at CrossFit last week, it was one of the hardest workouts I've ever done. And afterwards, I looked at the trainer and went, give me something harder next time. Instantly regretted it, obviously, because that's just bonkers talking like that. But building this resilience so that you know that whatever is thrown at you. In fact, one of the posts I did today, let me pull it up, because obviously this can upset some people. I don't mind upsetting people every now and again. So what? Well, I'm offended. So what? So this is about becoming dangerous. I wrote this morning on my Facebook channel, and then I posted it onto LinkedIn as well. I'll read it for you. Become dangerous. Become the bloke with the most assets in the room. Become the bloke that can outrun your peers if a bear is chasing you. Some people take offence to that. I ain't getting eaten by no bear. You know, have you heard the story of the 2 guys and a leopard's chasing them, and one starts running and the other guy says, you'll never outrun that. He says, I don't have to outrun that. I just have to outrun you. I ain't getting eaten by a bear. Become the bloke that can knock someone on their ass if it comes to it, and then look after them safely until the ambulance arrives. Become the bloke that can help people if they get stuck from time to time. We get calls all the time, people asking for help. It's awesome. I love it. Become the bloke who's there for your kids no matter what the circumstances. Become the bloke who can carry the boats and the logs. That's a David Goggins reference. Search that on YouTube. It's very funny. Become the bloke people can rely on if they need help or if there's an emergency. Become the bloke who has a capacity to be lethally dangerous should your life depend on it. 100% I could take somebody out. 100%. If my life depended on that and I needed to do that, I could do it. Mentally, afterwards, that's a whole new story. But, if we're in a home invasion and there's 3 guys with knives and guns and I have no other choice, it's going to hit the fan. Become the guy who will play horses with their kids and have sleepovers with them before they don't want that anymore. I had a sleepover on Friday night with my little one. Awesome. I keep getting told off for talking too much. Become the bloke that people ask advice from because they know they'll get an honest answer. But more importantly, become the bloke that is being the very best version of themselves. Obviously, that takes work, folks. Despite having hiccups along the way and despite their many imperfections, being dangerous is entirely part of this process of being a bloke. Life isn't all butterflies and rainbows. It's about being a warrior in a garden. It's best to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a fight, should the need arise. Hopefully you'll never need it, but the resource is there to be called upon if you do. That, my friends, right there is resilience. And I know we have this thing about toxic masculinity and we've got Russell Brand and all that negativity going on right now. But you should become dangerous and you should become resilient. And resilience is, Dan, you've got what did we do? We did 100 things last week. I can't remember what it was. It was a killer workout. 100 clean and jerks or 100 deadlifts. Like being resilient to get through that lot is vitally important, right? The next reason you should be working out is confidence, and that's mental confidence and it's body confidence as well. My confidence levels in my ability to move heavy objects from one thing to another, to climb a rope. Like if I had to scale a building to rescue a kid, like I've never done that before, but my confidence in my ability to do something like that is actually far higher than it was 16 months ago when I couldn't do anything even like that, right? So I've got confidence in order to do that. My confidence to walk into a room or to walk into a situation, shall we say, and handle myself in that situation, vastly, vastly improved. And that's not necessarily referring to, a physical threat, but it could be just at a networking event where you're walking in, there's 3 people already talking, you walk into that group and introduce yourself. That level of confidence can be vastly improved from your ability to work out and having had your workout. I was at a networking event in Leeds last month, I think it was, and we were talking about age, and someone said, "How old are you then?" I said, 51. We're like, "God, you're in good shape for 51." And I'm like, thank you very much. The confidence it's palpable, and you can walk into a room and you can feel it. And then the other part of that is the capability that I just mentioned. The ability to climb a rope, or we had my daughter had a new bed arrived, a new double bed, and the guy in the truck arrived and he had a load of stuff that had fallen over onto it, and he's getting behind it, he's trying to move it, and he couldn't move it. And I said, "That's fine, move out of the way." And so I got behind it and I moved it, all the stuff that had fallen onto the bed, and then he pulled the bed out and I just put it back gently, and then we just kind of together pushed it back against the wall. But that confidence in my capability of just stepping up and going, "Move out, son, I'll do it for you," that is huge, absolutely huge. And so that capability and the confidence to have that capability in working out, go get your laddie ass to the gym, folks, for God's sake. There's no easy way of saying it. The second one then is about having a cash flow forecast. So this is about you being a better person and accelerating your ability to get success quicker, right? Having a cash flow forecast. Imagine 2 people. One knows where shit is going to hit the fan in 6 months' time, and this other one hasn't got a clue at all. Which one of those people do you think is going to be better pressed for handling when there's no cash in 6 months? This guy, clearly this guy, knowing that is going to have a problem with cash and that he can then put something in place to prevent that issue from coming. We've got cash flow forecasts for the next 12 months in both my business and in my property and in my personal. And this all comes down to having a spreadsheet. Are spreadsheets sexy? Unless you're an accountant and a little bit weird, then no, totally not. So you've got to get your spreadsheet in place, regardless as to whether it's sexy or not. Let me tell you what's sexy. Knowing that you've got a problem in 6 months and you've sorted that problem by month 3. Rather than being the other guy that doesn't know there's a problem in 6 months because he's got a cash flow issue and it's rearing its head, but he hasn't got a clue. That's just totally not the person that you want to be. So you've got to start getting your cash flow forecast out and getting that in place. Just checking everything's fine, yeah. And getting that in place. 100%, that's what you need to be doing. Now, most people are simply never going to do this. No, you don't understand, Dan. It's all in here. I can tell you the difference between someone who's got it all in there and someone who's got it on a spreadsheet. My diet, for example, right now I've cut back on my calorie intake because I'm off to Bali in start of November and I want to look better for Bali, right? As you do. So we're on a calorie deficit. Now, I've got an app on my phone called MyFitnessPal. Everybody uses it. It's very well known. And I work out how many calories I can eat per day, and then I can adjust based on how much weight I want to lose. It is not up here inside my head, even though I know inside my head what those numbers should be. I record it. I measure my waist. I weigh myself every day because I want to record it. One, so that in a year's time I can look back at now and know where I am. And two, because I want to hit these goals. I've got these targets that I want to hit. It kind of moves on to goal setting in a minute. But everything should be written down. It should be in your head, but it should be written down. So I've got, going back, I think it's like to 2015 or 2017, I've got data going back all the way for my weight loss journey, from being my heaviest in 2019 at 83 kilos to being 70 kilos at Christmas just gone. 13 kilos off is a significant amount of weight loss, by the way. Put some back on because our dog died, kind of went through this grieving process. Back down to 73 this morning. Wonderful. So we're definitely heading in the right direction. But it's all written down, it's all recorded, and then in a year or two's time I can look back. And it's the same on your cash flow forecast. But you want to be looking forward and knowing where your cash flow forecast is actually going to be. So it's so important, and I know most people aren't going to do it. The next one then is on your time management. And actually, I'm just double checking. I've included some free time management and goal setting training. Just before I came live, we were working on this and just making it accessible for people. It's completely free. Go click the link. You'll go through, fill in your name and your email address, and then it'll take you through to the training where you can actually sign up for the training. Go and fill that in, and I'll give you my time management and my task management system. But I can tell you right now that I know that people are trying to fill 2 litres of work into a 1 litre bottle, and then they're complaining when the extra litre spills all over and makes the countertop wet. And this is what most people are trying to do. They're trying to fit 2 days of work into 1 day, and then they're getting upset. And then not only do they get upset, but then they're like, this is just not good enough. I'm not good enough. Oh, woe is me. My life sucks, right? Or I'm such a failure. And it's ridiculous. You're trying to do the impossible by fitting 2 days of work into one day of capacity. Nobody can do that. Imagine trying to drive 200 mile an hour in an Austin Allegro. And if you're not from the UK, an Austin Allegro is a car from the 70s, folks. My mum used to have a brown one with a squarish steering wheel. Imagine trying to get 200 mile an hour out of an Austin Allegro and then complaining that it's down to you, right? It's ridiculous. You can't do it unless you're going down a hill and falling off a cliff, or you're hurtling towards the sun for some reason and gravity's doing its work. No one can do that. So why are you picking on yourself, and why are you beating yourself up over it? What you need is a task management system, and we're giving you completely free access. You just go in, you sign up. It's 22 minutes on a time management, and I think it's 8 minutes on a goal setting. Go and sort that out. Go get access to it. It's called a Friday Night Review time management system, and you'll love it. But getting your time management in place, and I know people going, oh, well, you can't manage time. What? Sorry, what? What does that mean? No, you can't manage time. Oh, it's a bullshit. Of course you can manage time. I went to CrossFit this morning between 9 and 10. It's in my calendar every day. I come home, I have a shower, I have another coffee between 10 and 11, and then I work out what all the other stuff I need to get done for the day. It's all managed. My time is managed. One of the reasons why we've built a multi-million-pound property portfolio, and one of the reasons why we've got a good and successful digital marketing agency, is because I utilise time management and task management successfully, and have done and continue to do that. And when I get my six-pack at some point, maybe, right? At some point, that is because I've allocated the task management of going to the gym. I've allocated time to eat. I've allocated in my calendar, there's a time for me to go shopping to buy all the ingredients for the food that will allow me to get to the goals that I've set, because I've allocated my task management properly. And that's exactly what you guys need to be doing as well. Let's just cover goal setting very quickly. So you can also access the goal setting portion of that training. It's completely free of charge. Click the link down below. It's in there. But the goal setting. And, people go, oh, you don't need goal setting. I think you do. And I know some people are very successful without goal setting. And they've got a very specific system on that. For me, you need some goals. It's like a double whammy for me. I enjoy writing down the goals, and I get excited then about the goal and what it's going to look like and what it's going to smell like and what it's going to taste like, and feel the feelings of being right there inside that goal, and listen to the words that you're saying to yourself and listen to the words that other people are saying to you. Like, we really wear the goal. Like, we put it on, we try it on, we see what it's going to feel like, and we use a hypnotic induction. We close our eyes and we go right into that goal, and imagining what that six-pack is going to feel like, imagining what the people are going to say to you, imagine what it's going to be like when you buy another business, and what you're going to say to yourself, and imagine how good that's going to feel. Like, that's why we do goal setting, because we imagine it on a piece of paper, and it's a double whammy, because then when we get there, we get to actually feel what it was like, and it feels just like you imagined it to begin with. And so the goal setting process is vitally important, I think. But I think people do it wrong. And they do it wrong because they don't start far enough out. And in fact, they do it the wrong way round. They start with, a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and then they stop there. And that is completely and utterly wrong. And this technique and strategy in the goal setting training that's completely free, just sign up for it. But the way that we do it is we start 15 years and we work backwards. I'm not going to give it away. Go and do it, and then let me know how that works out for you. Let me know what you learn from that goal setting process, because it is vastly different normally than what you've already done, and the results are palpable. So go and have a look at that. Anyway, look, that's me done for the day. Here, got a very busy day today. So it's all in my task management system. But look, I hope you found that useful. If so, let me know. If not, let me know as well. And we'll speak to you on the next podcast. My name's Dan Latto. Have a wicked day. Take care.